The French Open is coming around the corner right after the Rome Open finishes up, and I'm pretty excited to see what the draws are going to be. But two of my favorite players aren't going to be doing the tournament. Nick Kyrgios has a foot injury, and Nadal has a hip injury, and he says that he might even retire in 2024. But even with my favorite players out, there's a lot of new gen players out there that are gonna make it fun to watch. So in this video, I'm gonna go over my top 3 prediction of who's gonna win the French Open, and make sure to stick around for the last one because it might surprise you. Anyways, I hope you're ready because I'm ready. So let's get right into the video. Alright, for number 1, it's Carlos Alcaraz, and he's only 20 years old, but he's made it pretty far in some of the major tournaments. So in last year's French Open, he made it to the quarterfinals after losing to Zverev in a 4-setter. But a couple of months later in the US Open, he won all 7 of his matches and won the US Open title after beating Casper Ruud in the finals. And this year he's won 2 of the biggest ATP 1000 tournaments, the Indian Wells Masters tournament and the Madrid Open. So winning all of these major tournaments will probably give him some sort of mental boost, and he's one of the youngest players on tour, so he has a lot of potential. Now, number 2 is Novak Djokovic, and he's been on the tour for a while now. He's part of the big 3, which is Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer. And some notable tournaments that he won last year were Wimbledon, after he beat Kyrgios in the finals, and also the ATP World Tour Finals, which was last November. And also this year he's won the Australian Open, and he only lost 1 set the whole tournament. And the reason why Djokovic is my number 2 prediction and not my number 1 is because Djokovic and Alcaraz played each other once in last year's Madrid Open, and Alcaraz beat him in the semifinals in a 3-set match. Okay, so before we move on to number 3, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with my content. And I provide Excel tutorials that include how to use a certain formula, and I also provide some project walkthroughs. And I also have some videos that are under 30 seconds that give you some tips as quickly as possible. Anyways, my number 3 prediction is Holger Rune, and he's only 20 years old just like Alcaraz, and he won the Paris Masters tournament last year after he beat Djokovic in the finals. And he made it pretty far in some of the big tournaments this year. He made it all the way to the 4th round in the Australian Open before he lost to Rublev in a 5-setter. And he also made it to the finals of the Monte Carlo Masters before he lost to Rublev. But right now he's doing really good in the Rome Open, and he's made it all the way to the finals, and I'm pretty excited to see how that's going to play out soon. So those are my top 3 predictions for who I think is going to win the French Open, and let me know in the comments below who you think is going to win, and tell me if you agree with any of my predictions. So thank you guys so much for watching this video and making it all the way to the end. If you want to see me do a full walkthrough on analyzing a tennis dataset, make sure to check out the video that I made in the past, and I hope to see you there.